criticism, the scrutiny, the judgment, don't expect not to experience that. You will very much. The more you are being yourself, the more you're going to experience that. Because when you're being yourself, you can't fit in. That's the thing. That's the irony. You can't fit in. The effort to fit in is the effort of suppressing your uniqueness. You're trying to be like, it's like your shape can just goes any, it can be your shape, what you essentially are is shapeless, but it can be any shape. And you're trying to be a square. Your whole family is squares, and you're trying to be a square. So if you're actually just being your authentic self, you're like this. You can't fit into a square. That's why it feels tight. That's why it feels restricted. You're like, what's this? What's that? It's like you're hitting these limitations. Whereas your shapeless, your formless nature just wants to express in any form. Right? And that's where hopefully you can see that if you try and fit in, you aren't being yourself. Because the family is saying, you have to look like us, you have to be like us. Here's our shape. Now conform to this shape. And it's like, oh, okay, if you say so. That's what most people do. But once you're in touch with your heart, then it's like, no, like I'm not going to conform to that. That's why I said the heart is a rebel. At the heart of all religions is a rebel. Jesus was a rebel. That you can't, you don't come through, you don't go on this journey without being a rebel. Because the rebel is, it's not against society, it's for being yourself. When we think of rebel, we think of like fighting something. It's not like you're fighting your family. You're just for being yourself. It's very subtle, but it's a different way of seeing it. You're not against your family. You're not against society. You're for being your authentic self. It's not like you're fighting with this. That's what I said. Like, it's not like you're picking fights. You're not creating conflict. But it's triggering because once you start being yourself, it's like, I'm gonna use another like imagery here of like the tree growing up. It's like a big maple tree. It's now, when you're being yourself, you now become this big maple tree. But your family is a bunch of seedlings, and they're looking up. They feel threatened by it. They feel triggered, but they also are recognizing their potential, which is always an invitation. And the things that really trigger them, perhaps you start being yourself and you're now more creative. And they'll see that creativity and they'll start being jealous of that creativity. They're like, damn it, or they'll start seeing there's a confidence in you. They'll start seeing there's a courage in you. They'll start seeing the qualities in you that they want to have, but there's a fear. So like this, it will start triggering. I know it happens all the time. You'll start to feel it, that there's something in you that's very triggering to others, to just speak so naturally, or to not care what other people think, or to just, turn on the computer and just start winging it. That triggers a lot of people because they want to have like a script. They're so, restricted to saying the right thing. They're going to think about it and they'll see like, wow, how could that person just get up there and start talking unscripted? And it sounds so like fluid and effortless. And damn it, they'll say things like, I wish I could do that, because they're recognizing their potential in you. I wish I could make music like that. I wish I could do poetry like that. I wish I could paint like that. I wish I could, be whatever it is. They're seeing that potential in you because they're seeing their own potential, but they're also needing to confront the fact that they're not being themselves. which is like, it's like a hard look in the mirror. It's a hard look in the mirror, because they have to then see their own limitations, because you're just letting go of those limitations to then simply grow up, to be yourself. And they're holding on to those limitations, sort of say. This is why, like I say, like, I don't support suffering. I'm not going to support your limitations. I'll be the role model, right? You're through the embodiment of our limitless nature. You're then like a walking advertisement for the possibility. And those people that want that, then they'll start coming to you. They'll say, yeah, I want, there's something. They won't know what it is. So just like I say, like I kind of, make it like, try and make it poetic. It's like a perfume of peace, fragrance of freedom. It's this aroma. It's just something. But they're seeing it. They're seeing it in the expression. It's more than just the words. It's the expression of the body language, energetic. They're tuning into that frequency.
And it's natural.
Exactly. It's natural. Like I said, it's kind of, I said this in one video. It sounds bad when you hear it, but it's like a domesticated dog now looking at a wild wolf. And the domesticated dog is recognizing something in that wild wolf. The wild wolf is like, come on, just be natural, be yourself. This is what you are. What I am is what you are. And it's an invitation, like, come on, like all of that domestication, that's all conditioning. Get in touch with the wild within, and you'll see that you're just like me. It's so kind of like that.
It's not, because if you had to try to be yourself, that'd be like hard work. That would just be like
exactly
a big task.
Yeah, you can't try and be yourself.
That would cause, I think if you try to be yourself, that would actually cause more conflict, because it's not coming from a natural place. It's coming from an idea you have of how you should be yourself, and it's contrived then.
Yeah.
So that would actually cause more conflict.
Exactly. So you feel into it because you're letting go of the thinking. The thinking is the how I think I should be. I should be like this, or I think I should be like that. And this and that are ideals. Being yourself is before those ideals. So you have to let go of those ideals to then simply be yourself. But the way the mind says is, well, show me what being myself looks like, so then I can copy it. The mind is this, it's a copycat. That's why I said, it's only when you're being yourself that you can actually do stuff that's original. Otherwise, you're just going to be regurgitating what other people say, quoting this guy, quoting that woman, quoting this scripture. Sounds beautiful, but it's not original. It's not you. Any sort of creative, thing that you make, whether it's a song or painting or a poem or any sort of movement or what, it's not original. Because you always be trying to copy someone. That's why people say things like, fake it till you make it. What's the recipe? The mind is, what's the recipe? Rinse and repeat. Maybe if I just do the same thing, then I can get the same result. So it's this copycat, this carbon copy. This is the conditioning. But to really find that authenticity in yourself, that's the originality. Then from that, what you do is going to be original. It's going to be you. You won't be motivated by what you see externally. You'll let go of that motivation because you found inspiration. Then this inspiration, then that's what's informing everything. You're taking inspired action. And that's the way, that's what really creativity really is. It's making the unseen seen. You're bringing, the unknown to the known. Like that, like on that journey that I showed you, it's like you come back with something and now you're master of both worlds. But then you become that bridge, you become the invitation. Or then that invitation, it could be anything. It could be your painting, that's the invitation. It could be your song, that's the invitation. It could be your poem, that's the invitation. It could be your book, that's the invitation. It could be your course, that's the invitation. Anything that you then do will then have a power to it. That power then is the invitation to bring one to the same source from which it was created. And that source is where everything is created. That's why it feels like when you can look at a painting or look at a book or something, when it's created from that place, let's call it, there's an aliveness that you feel within yourself. It's living, it's alive. You'll see that when there's that receptivity, when there's that sensitivity, then you'll feel that. You'll feel that resonance. That's why if you put like these two paintings in front of people, one, can really move. People say like that picture moved me. That still picture moved me, right? That one made me cry. I don't know why I cried, but that just cried. That just brought some aliveness. My heart just started feeling full looking at that painting. And you bring other people in front of the same painting. Let's say it's at a museum and they're just walking. They're like, so what? What a waste of space. They should have put a TV there instead of that painting. Right? How is there the difference? That difference is that openness, that receptivity, that sensitivity. So like that, they're experiencing that invitation that painting actually is. There's a power to that painting that then brings one to the source. And it's an inner experience, let's call it. That's why there's many ways to express this. It doesn't look like, posting some satsang. That's just one form. Speaking is just one form of expression.
It's quite exciting though, not to know. I think sometimes not to know what you'll end up expressing rather than to,
that's the adventure.
Yeah,
that's the adventure. It's just unfolding. And as it's unfolding, it's only feeling more and more natural. That's the beauty of it.